Hello, today we're talking about consistency, the secret to making nutrition and weight loss consistent habits and a lifestyle, not something you do temporarily. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Megan Olson, creator of Skinny for Delicious, and I'm also a nutrition practitioner. I help women over 35 lose 20 to 50 or more pounds and keep it off for good. Now, if you're someone who is absolutely frustrated, confused, and struggling with where you're at with your nutrition, with your lifestyle, with your weight, with your overall health, give me a little like. Let me know that this is something that you need to hear, that you're struggling with. If this is you, the struggle with consistency is probably not coming from the things that you think they're coming from. And I'm going to break this down to you, and this is a little lengthy, so stick with me today because there's a lot to this that I want you to really understand if you constantly struggle with consistency and building new, healthier habits, okay? So the struggle with consistency is probably coming from all of the diet programs that we try to cram into our lives. You know, there's like a million programs out there: keto, Weight Watchers, macro counting, calorie counting, intermittent fasting, paleo, vegan, 21-day fix, Nutrisystem, carb cycling. Like, those are just a few of them, right? All of these diets, if you've done them, it's okay. I've done them too, and we all have at some point. But if you're somebody who's looking for answers and you're not able to figure out what works for you, how to lose fat on your body, how to keep it off consistently, and you have tried all of those diets and they didn't work, and you keep trying to make them work and you can't be consistent with that, then I want you to know the source of your struggle is those diets. It is the mentality that those diets bring into your life. It's the way you're coming at the problem of trying to get healthier, trying to change your habits. You're coming at it the wrong way. And I'm going to explain to you more. So stick with me. Remember, I said this is kind of lengthy. So listen up and maybe even take some notes here because there's a lot here. You know, I coach women all the time. And I started off saying that I coach women over 35 who have 20 to 50 or more pounds to lose. And it is never about the food. We all know what nutritious food is, right? Fruits, vegetables, protein, healthy grains, healthy carbs. But we don't eat them. We choose not to eat them because either we don't like them, we don't know how to cook them or how to put them together in a way that's tasty, delicious, and easy, or we just want the sugary stuff. We just want that other stuff, right? So instead of focusing on the food, focus on instead the patterns you keep repeating. And what do I mean by repeating patterns? Here's an example. So you want to lose weight. So probably one of the first things you do is you start Googling different diets and diet programs. And then finally you land on something and you decide, this is what I want to try. You try it for maybe 1 or 2 weeks and you're really excited and you're doing really well. And then something happens in your life. Some life obstacle gets in your way. So then your diet goes out the door. You just stop. You go back to your old way of eating. And even though you know that's not going to get you the results you want, but you stop that diet and you just go back to your old way, and then you feel like you failed because you just kind of went back to that old way and backslided. Then at some point in the future, you repeat this process all over again. You decide to try, something in life happens, you stop, and you start again. It's just like this hamster wheel. Have you been on it? If you have, give me a comment below and tell me, yes, I have been on this hamster wheel. Okay, so keep listening to me. So if you're somebody who keeps repeating the pattern, why do you keep repeating the pattern? You know this pattern of the hamster wheel doesn't work. You've proven it to yourself time and time again that it doesn't work. So why wouldn't you instead look to break that pattern instead of looking for a new way of eating food? Breaking patterns and behaviors is key to consistency. I do this all the time with the women I coach. It's never about the food. It's about the pattern. We have to address that pattern. That's the root cause, not the specific diet you do. You know, a lot of times I get questions, well, is intermittent fasting going to really help me lose weight? No, let's clean up your diet. Let's make sure you're really filling your body with a lot of nutritious foods, getting the right amount of protein, getting the right amount of vegetables, and then we can talk about fasting. Because here's the thing. I can give you the perfect way of eating to lose weight. But unless you address the patterns and behaviors that you keep repeating, you will never be consistent. So intermittent fasting, cutting out carbs, that'll never work because it's the pattern that keeps you stuck. So what a lot of these diet programs don't teach you is how to think, is how to readdress the thought patterns that you're having in your head. I call this your mindset. What do I mean by mindset? I mean the times when you think you failed because you had something happen and you couldn't eat perfect the way you thought you should, and you felt like you were a failure. Newsflash, no one is perfect. I don't know a perfect human. Do you? Then why would you expect yourself to be perfect, right? You're gonna have a bad day. Something in life is always gonna get in your way. What these diets don't teach you is how to deal with real life and how to think about food when real life happens, right? How do I deal with going out to eat with friends? How do I deal with the holidays with that pushy aunt who's always pushing the cookies on me? How do I deal with that stuff? Diets don't teach you that. So think of it this way. If you had a flat tire, would you slash all the rest of your tires, or would you just fix the one broken tire and get on with your day? You'd probably fix the one tire. But see the analogy here? When you repeat the pattern of constantly dieting, giving up when something in life happens, and starting over, you're slashing all of the tires on your car. See how silly that is when you really stop and think about it? It's this pattern of behavior that's causing you to be inconsistent, okay? So those other diets, what they don't address is that mindset. And that is key to consistency. I call this the foundation of any diet program, and no one else is talking about mindset the way that I do. I don't see anyone in this weight loss space talking about it. That's why when you follow a meal plan, it can feel really hard. That's why when you eat cookies, you beat yourself up because you haven't worked on your mindset. It's not because the meal plan failed you or the cookies just tasted so good. It's because this wasn't functioning properly and we kept repeating patterns. So think of the mindset as the foundation of a house, right? If you don't have a good foundation to a house, what happens? A storm comes in and house falls down, right? So mindset is a key ingredient in my weight loss programs, and it's the missing ingredient in all the other programs out there. Master your mindset. This means making choices that align with losing weight. And once you make choices that align with losing weight, it becomes a lot easier. And guess what? You become more consistent. And that's what you want, right? You want to be consistent. The other thing these diet programs don't teach you is how your body works, how fat loss works in your body. All they do is teach you a bunch of rules. Welcome to keto. You can't eat more than 20 carbs a day. Welcome to Weight Watchers. Here's your points and a list of 0-point foods that usually aren't very nutritious, by the way. Welcome to paleo. Here's a bunch of foods you can no longer eat because, you know, cavemen were eating almond flour cookies back in the day. I mean, come on, guys. A cookie is a cookie. And I know I'm being a little bit facetious here, but you get my point, hopefully. It's the mentality of following these rules and you'll be successful. Meanwhile, these programs are not teaching you the why behind what you're doing and how you're going to make it actually work in your everyday life. And they take no consideration for you, your personality, your preferences, your food sensitivities, lifestyle, activity, or where you are in life. And ladies, this is why I work with women over 35, because after 35, guess what? Estrogen starts to go down, making it much easier to start gaining weight. You can't do the same things that you did before 35 to lose the weight anymore. It has to be different. So everyone who does all these other diet programs, there's nothing in those diet programs that take into account the fact that after 35, your estrogen starts to decline and that other things are starting to happen in the body and we have to do things differently. Everyone is just sort of herded into this general direction of, here, go on this diet plan or eat this same food or cut out these foods, right? And that just does not work. So say you start keto and you can't do 20 carbs a day. I certainly can't, but if it works for you, great. If you start keto and you do those 20 carbs a day and you think, oh, I just need to try harder, I just need to do better to try to get to those 20 or less carbs a day, I need to be stronger, have more willpower. And then you go to Weight Watchers and you try to do the same thing. You try to rely on that willpower and try to think that you need to be better. Meanwhile, what happens to your hunger when you're trying to do these diets? What happens to your cravings when you try to do these diets? Cravings go up, energy goes down, and you're a hot mess, right? You're like, oh my gosh, give me all the sugar after about 4 days because you're just so hungry. So cravings go through the roof because you're usually not eating enough calorie-dense foods and pairing foods in a way to keep your hunger hormones in check when you're doing these diets. So you probably have noticed that when you have done a diet in the past, you can go maybe 2, 3, 4 days, and then suddenly you're craving all of the sweets and candy. Has it happened to you? I know it's happened to me, and I don't want you to have to suffer the way that I did. So what is critical for you to understand here is that before you attempt to lose weight is to understand your hormones. And I'm not talking about estrogen, ladies. I am talking about insulin, leptin, ghrelin, and cortisol. Hormones are impacted every time you eat a meal, every time you choose not to eat a meal, when you don't get enough sleep, when you don't eat enough protein, when you drink too much coffee, when you work out too much, when you eat too much sugar, you don't sleep enough. All of those things impact those hunger hormones. And these hunger hormones are not the only thing impacted. Your fat storage is impacted, how you burn fat is impacted, and I do things very differently in my weight loss programs. In my programs, you eat for balanced hormones, and no one else is doing this. Insulin, leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, because they impact how much food you eat. They impact your energy balance, what types of food you are craving, and when they're out of balance, guess what? You can't win that battle, no matter how much willpower you have or how much you beat yourself up. Because during those first 2 weeks when you're on a diet, hunger goes down, energy goes up, and you're eating more food in my programs. Does that mean in 2 weeks you have everything figured out? Nope, absolutely not. It is a process, and it is a long process, and you will, though, start to learn more and adjust as you go. But this is how quickly it can turn around for you when you start taking that hormones first approach to your nutrition and weight loss instead of trying to shove yourself into these like diet programs that are out there, right? Each one of you has a very unique way of living and eating. And there's no one plan that's going to magically work for everyone. It always starts with that hormone first nutrition, then working on stress, then you layer in working out, then you layer in all these other pieces of the puzzle that come together over time. So what does hormones first approach mean? It means not eating a bowl of oatmeal and fruit for breakfast or avocado toast, because that doesn't put your body into fat burning. That doesn't send the right signals to insulin, leptin, ghrelin that you want to start losing weight. Okay, so if you've been trying to stay consistent and you're wondering what's wrong with me, why can't I stay on track for more than a few weeks? This is the other reason why. It's because you're repeating the pattern of doing the diet, which causes these hormonal imbalances. Now, this is not about finding a solution to fix your hormones. This is about ditching the pattern, ditching the diet rules, ditching that restrictive mindset when it comes to food. Remember I said earlier, it's not about the food. It's not about the hormones. It's about the pattern, stopping the pattern. So instead of looking for the thing that is going to fix your problem the fastest, stop and say, you know what? I'm committed to making this happen. I'm committing to eating healthier and feeling better and losing weight, even if it takes 6 months, even if it takes a year, even if it means I'm going to lose less than 1 pound a week. You know why? Because at least then you're off the strict diet that was making you crazy. Remember what I said at the beginning, that you have to stop repeating those patterns and behaviors? The root cause of hunger hormone imbalances is dieting. So why would you keep doing diets when it's causing you to be stuck in this vicious circle? Our bodies are wired for survival. They're smarter than we are. So if you eat too few calories, guess what? Metabolism goes down because it accommodates for the less food. And then you store more fat. And then you crave more food. This is just how our bodies are wired. And the root problem is with these diets, is with the mindset of these diets and having these restrictive rules. You know, restrictive mindset of I can never have pizza. I never say that to my clients. It's about having better processes and tools to understand how am I going to fit pizza into my lifestyle, so that I don't feel like I failed, so that I still feel like I'm enjoying myself when I go out to dinner with family and friends. So I know you're asking, well, if I don't do a diet, what do I do, Megan? How do I stay consistent so I can lose weight? You stop cutting out foods. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop thinking, you know, intermittent fasting and cutting carbs is going to be the solution, and you start making healthier swaps and choices. You want pasta for dinner? Guess what? Pasta is on my weight loss plan, because no one is ever going to live the rest of their life without eating pasta or pizza. So here's the thing. You want pasta? Swipe out the white or whole wheat for a plant-based pasta like chickpea or edamame pasta, and measure the portion. You want to go out to dinner? Sure, go out to dinner. Enjoy yourself. Eat half the portion. Eat more veggies. Eat more fruits. Eat more protein. See where this is going? It's the swap. It's not the cutting out. It's not the restricting. It's not the I'm on a diet, right? But here's the catch. You have to deliberately choose to make these healthier choices. How do you do that consistently? Do you know what it is? Mindset. Remember I said earlier, you need to have a solid foundation to your house in order to lose weight and stay consistent. That means your mindset has to be positive, not negative, opportunistic, not pessimistic. Most of us believe that we have failed when we try something one time and mess up. That's not failing, not in my book. When you're in school, is one bad grade going to make you fail a class? No. That's silly, right? So why would you mess up one time and think you're a failure and you can never do this? If you're somebody who is always expecting yourself to be perfect, you're never going to meet your expectations, because there is no such thing as perfect. So you have to adjust your mindset, adjust your expectations, which starts all up here, right? And the women I coach will tell you that the greatest gift that I give them is the ability to shift how they're thinking about themselves, how they're thinking about the patterns that they're doing. Because when you shift how you think, that's when making consistent choices align with your hormones, align with the choices that you're making. That's when it's easier to choose a vegetable rather than a bowl of pasta. This is how you gain consistency, ladies. So to recap, break the dieting pattern. It hasn't worked for you, so there's no sense in repeating it. Create the mindset foundation. Learn how fat loss works in your body, and take a hormones first approach to your nutrition, especially if you're over 35. That's how you gain the consistency to make more nutritious choices that align with you getting healthier and losing weight. So I hope this helps you. Please like, share, or comment if this video was helpful for you. Let other women know that, if you're struggling, share it in the comments below, because you're not alone. And there's something very powerful with sharing with other women your stories. So share with us below. Guys, there's also a free training right above this video. If you like this content, you want to hear more things about hormones and hormones first nutrition and being consistent with losing weight, grab that free training. Tons of helpful information in there. If you need my help or want to hear about how I work with women, please feel free to message me directly. I'll talk to you soon.